Hey folks, welcome. Welcome to another episode of what? Of me talking to you. All right. And because this is my own channel, guess what I can do? I can wear a hat. G. Why is that a G? Because I'm a G. Let's get to it. Boom. So, comments? Hey Joe, do you really have a son? You never talk about him. Maybe in passing. Tell us about your son, if you really do have one. I do have a son. My firstborn, 2.5 years older than the girls. I don't talk about him much because he's a grown-ass man doing his grown-ass man things. And let me tell you something, folks. There's no greater feeling for a dad of a son who doesn't have to worry about his son. I go to bed at night, never ever have to worry about him because I know he's a good man and he's doing good man type things. So it's all good. So, with that said, again, where are we going? Come on, with me. You're with me. You're with me inside the Wayback Machine. Circa 1985. Woo! Delivery room. Boom. It's a boy. A boy? What else can a guy ask for his firstborn being a son, right? Boom. So, we were tight. We were tight from day one. That was my guy. Loved him. I remember looking at him in the delivery room when the nurses were cleaning him off, and I'm saying to myself, damn, I did that? That boy is handsome as hell. So, I'm a little biased. A little biased, I know. But he was handsome. Still very handsome, by the way. Handsome man. He, 2.5 years into his little life, he had to welcome in his sisters. So now all the attention that he got, he had to now share. So, sharing love, sharing this, sharing that. It was not easy for him at first, but like anything else, you learn, you adapt, and you move on. And that's what he did. His little 2.5-year-old self. I remember his mom said, I don't remember the story myself. You know how mothers make stories up about the kids. Apparently when the girls came home from the hospital, he tugged on her apron. That's a figure of speech. I don't even think the chick ever wore an apron in her life. Maybe in Thanksgiving she did, you know. Apparently he tucked on this apron and said, hey mom, can you send those girls back to wherever they came from? That's how the story goes. I don't remember that. Might have happened, might have not, but anywho, he had to adjust. He had to adjust like I'm adjusting my hat. He had to adjust to life from being 1 to life to being 3. You know, everything was, hey, dude, guess what? You're part of a family now. You've got siblings, all right? You got siblings. So time went on, and he was obviously a boy, and he was the first child. So even though he had siblings, he and I were still, you know, we were still tight. We were still doing our guy type things. And as he got into grade school, he started to get into sports, and he was a bit better than most of the other kids around him. So he became special in that regard. And I noticed his special athletic skills, so kind of honed in on that. You know, he took the basketball really well. He became quite a basketball player through I don't know, travel team, middle school, and I'll get to high school in a second. But also, he was also quite a football player. He was very slight in stature, but he was very fast. You know, you couldn't tackle the dude. You know, he's skinny, a little wiry, but guess what? You got to catch him if you want to tackle him. And they couldn't do that. So he became quite a little star in football. But when he went on to high school, basketball was his thing. And because we saw the special talent that he had, we decided to, any camp that he wanted to, any camp he was invited to all over the friggin' country, that's what we would do. We'd pack up the family and we'd go on family vacations based around Homeboy's basketball camps. And when he had a tournament that was not out of state and the girls didn't want to go, we would drop the girls off at one of their friends' houses. Sometimes I didn't even know the parents that well, but you know, we have to get to this basketball tournament. The girls don't feel like being in a stinky gym for hours upon end, so let's drop them off at so-and-so house and let's go off and do our thing. I don't advise that, by the way, folks. I don't advise you dropping your kids off to parents that you really don't know, because you don't know what the hell is going on in that person's crib. Okay? So we would go all over the country. And this one particular trip that we took, a little family vacation, we went to Disney, right? We went to Disney World. The first and only time I took my family to Disney, and it was for a basketball tournament. Obviously the girls were with us, making it a big family trip. But it was all about my son. You know, the vacation was pretty much all about basketball. It wasn't about, you know, we got the passes to Disney. And one thing I noticed about the girls is that they didn't really care too much for Disney. You know what they cared for? We stayed at a Residence Inn hotel just outside of Disney, right outside of Orlando. And they wanted to spend the time in the pool with Dad. I mean, I liked it. It was awesome. Made me feel special. But I'm kind of scratching my head because we paid all this money for these passes, and they had no interest in friggin', what was it, Kingdom? What is that silly thing with the princesses and all that? And then, you know, they had no interest in that. They had no interest in friggin' Animal Kingdom, no interest in all this craziness that Disney gets families to spend money on. I'm like, okay, cool. You want to stay at the hotel in the pool all day instead of using up these passes? Whatever. Okay, let's do it. So that was the Disney trip. You know, we saw a lot of basketball. You know, girls were bored to death. But you know what? I have to give it to my girls. They took it all in stride. They really did. They took it all in stride. They knew what time it was. They knew that it was all about their brother. And they're actually very supportive. You know, for the games that they went to, I'm not sure that they actually understood what was happening, but they cheered. They knew what team was wearing a black shirt and what team was wearing a white shirt and what team their brother was on, and they cheered for that team when they ever did something wrong. So I gotta give them their kudos for that. They held it down for their brother, you know. Plus, regardless, you're still in friggin' Disney. You know, you're still in Disney. So that was the Disney trip. That was, and there was so many of those. We went to backwoods places in Pennsylvania, in the middle of nowhere, to special basketball camps. I would take my family to Pennsylvania. Like, Joe, what are you doing? I'm like, this kid's got special talent. We got to do what we got to do. And the following year, after the Disney, we took our family summer vacation to a place called, it was in Tennessee. I don't even remember the name of the town. Folks, this place was backwards. It was backwards. It was anything that you think that the South was, that was backwards back in the day, this place was. And I took my family there for summer vacation because of a basketball tournament. So again, the girls were troopers, and they were getting a little bit older at this time, right? I think I want to say they were like 11 or 12, and they started to get interest in boys. And at a basketball tournament, there's a lot of what? Boys around. And at this particular hotel we were staying at, there was a lot of boys. And not too many families brought their daughters with them like I did. So my two 11, 12-year-old twin girls are just starting to like figure out that they were girls and maybe they're kind of cute and maybe boys think they're cute. So they're running around the pool with all these young boys and they're loving the attention. And guess what I had to do? And during my vacation, I had to regulate. Yeah, I had to regulate my 11-year-old daughters because these dudes, these 13, 14-year-old dudes were like, ah, they both look the same. 2 for the price of 1. No, bro. 2 for the price of nothing. All right, because Pops is here and you ain't getting at that because A, she's my daughter, they're both my daughters, and B, they're too young. So go off and do your little boy thing, go play some basketball and leave my girls alone. So that particular summer vacation was, that was a bit of a struggle because I was dealing with that like almost on a daily basis. Again, folks, I don't recommend that. It was not the best situation to put your girls in, but again, they were there for their brothers. I was there for my son, and we're just trying to do the family thing. We're trying to, I don't know, we're trying to do whatever. We're trying to hold it together. We're trying to get him to the next level and still do our summer thing. So I thought I was a genius. Hey, why don't we just do our summer vacations around basketball? Yeah, okay, Joe, good idea. And folks, as you can tell, this hat is making me very, should we say, damp up here? All right, and this friggin' light is not helping. But anyway, you know what? I'm gonna thug it out with the hat. I'm not gonna take it off. I could be a lesser man right now and just take this hat off and say it's not gonna work. But no, I'm gonna thug this out with the G hat. Because why? I'm a G. Okay? Let's continue. So, as time went on, my son just got better and better and better and better in basketball. When he got to high school, he went to a private Catholic school. He was the man from 10th grade all the way till he graduated. In his senior year, he was selected as one of the top 5 players in the whole state of Massachusetts. He got a scholarship to college after he graduated. You know, all this hard work, all this traveling with his sisters in tow actually paid off. All right, the Victor family got their son into college on a basketball scholarship. Wow. So I remember getting that news that, okay, wow, my son is going to school, like this is like 150 grand of education for free. Like an idiot, I thought it was about me, so I went off and I bought myself a Mercedes because I said, you know what, I can probably afford this now because I just saved myself 150 grand in tuition. Joe, that's not really the way it works, but I just felt I needed to give myself a little something for all the, shall we say, all the traveling I did over the years to get him to this point. I needed a little something for me. So he went through that. You know, that scholarship thing didn't really work out for him. He ended up leaving that school for a variety of reasons. Probably the main reason was he was a little spoiled. He was a little spoiled because he was given a lot by us because we saw a special talent in him. So we let him get away with a lot going through middle school, high school, stuff that you probably shouldn't let your son get away with or your daughter get away with, even no matter what kind of talent level they have, because it will come back to bite you someday. And it did come back to bite him. It came back to bite him and us as a family. So he ended up leaving that scholarship school and going into, I didn't let him come home. I took him out of that college. We regrouped as a family. He then regrouped himself, and he looked in the mirror, and thank God, when he looked in the mirror, he saw what was happening, and he rectified it. We got him back into school, another school, and he finished off his college career. He's still a good baller. We're still doing his thing. Not at the level that he was at before, but still he was doing something he loved, and he was getting an education. He ended up graduating from that college. He met his future wife at that college, and after he graduated, stayed with her. They got married, have a beautiful daughter, my granddaughter, Marcellus's cousin. So that's my son. That's my son. And like I said at the beginning, the reason I don't talk about him much is because he's turned out to be a fabulous young man. I have no worries about him. He does all the right things that a father could possibly want in a son. So I have no reason to stress out about him. I could go a few weeks, a month without talking to him, and still I know that he's okay. I know he's not getting any kind of issues, and he is doing the right thing. He's raising his family in a way that makes me proud, and he is different from his sisters. He's not into all this YouTube stuff or social media. Like, he uses social media for other reasons. He runs his own organization, non-profit organization, which he created, and he uses social media for that type of stuff. And sometimes he struggles to understand what his sisters, what they do on social media, and you know what they do on IG, some of the provocative pictures that they take on IG. Even myself, as much as I support the girls, I will be honest with you, I don't follow, I don't look at them on Instagram. I think I made the mistake once of accidentally looking at one of my daughter's Instagram page, and I'm like, no, I cannot do that. I will not look at these pictures. I get what IG is all about. It's all about pictures, and it's all about little videos, and you have to be provocative, and you have to be more so than the other person, so you can get likes and all that stuff. I get that, but I don't need to get that for my own daughter, so I don't need to look at their IG, and neither does my son, and he doesn't use social media in that way. So sometimes the three of them, they clash a little bit, you know, as brothers and sisters do, who have different views on life. Doesn't say one is right and one is wrong. It's just the way it is. This is the way I'm living my life, and that's the way you're living your life. You know, they supported him all the way through high school. They were there from day one until he graduated college, played his last basketball game. They were in his wedding. They were part of his wedding party. They still had that brother-sister bond, but when it comes to career choices, they're not exactly on the same page. And sometimes the girls don't listen to his advice because they may not like it. It may be too brotherly. It is what it is, and those are the fine. That is that's just the way it is. Just family dynamics. When you have multiple kids, and I'm going to say it again, when you have multiple kids, they're all different. You love them the same, but you treat them differently. You manage them differently, and that could not be any more true than for my three, 1, 2, 3 kids, and especially my son. I definitely got him to the water, and he drank. He drank from the water, and he drank the good water, not the dirty water. He drank the good water. He's a good man. So I just wanted to share that with you folks today, that I do have a son, and we do have a relationship. We have a grown man relationship. I respect him. He respects me. I give him space. He gives me space. You know, sometimes, you know, when I do this silliness on the girls' channel, or when I do whatever, he may roll his eyes and say, "Oh, Dad," but he gets it. You know, he gets that the girls are a lot like me, and he's a lot like his mom. So we get that. That is called what? Family dynamics. All right. Not everybody's the same. All right, there's all kinds of DNA going all over the place. All right, you know, he got a little of this, he got a little of that, the girl's got a little of that, but it's all the same. It's all the same. We all care about each other, and at the end of the day, we want to see, everybody wants to see the other person succeed, I believe, and that's the way it should be, you know. So I let him do his thing, and I love him just as much as I love the girls, but I don't need to talk about him because I don't. Social media is not his thing, and this is the girls' thing. All right. So that is my son, folks. All right. So I hope that was good for you. He's a good man. Like I said, we did a lot for him growing up. The girls, they supported him through all his endeavors, and he's very successful today, and we all love him, and we still support him, and I know deep down inside he supports his sisters also. So folks, again, thank you so much. I hope that answered some of your questions about, Joe, do you really have a son? I do. I have 3 kids, folks. I did my work, all right? Now it's time for them to do theirs. All right, folks. If you're new to the station, thank you so very much. I'm not going to say subscribe because you know the routine. And my friends, love you guys. Love you guys. Thank you. Thank you for everything. You're making this worth it. You're making this journey awesome. Peace, love, strive. Till next time, I'm out.